the day after Easter. He did rise. He was risen. I hope you celebrated with friends and family like myself and had a good time. This is part two of the stream this morning as of course, the equipment decided not to work. What else is new? Sometimes it just, these computers and all this stuff that's taken over our lives, you know, sometimes it just doesn't work, ladies and gentlemen. Sometimes it just doesn't work, especially the audio. But we are back. We are live. If you missed out what I was saying the first part of the radio show, Donald Trump has made a demand over the weekend that 8 p.m. Eastern tonight will be the tipping point. According to his latest late night tweets, Truth Social posts, he will be raining down hellfire on these bastards. Okay. And yes, he dropped the F word, and his sarcasm has the Democrats wetting their pants and a lot of Republicans. I don't agree with him talking like that on Easter either. But if you followed Donald Trump for the last 11 years, like this show has, then you know it's just the way he rolls, okay? It's just the way he rolls. I was just making sure we're live here, but we are. But it is just the way he rolls, ladies and gentlemen. And get over it if you're going to follow the President of the United States. Or just look at it this way. You do not have to agree with everything anyone says. But as long as they're getting the job done for the people, with the people, then you understand. You understand. It's just part of the deal, the dealio. All right, we got a lot of people checking in this morning. We got about 50, 61 on the live feed. Got the radio at 104.3 FM. And then, of course, all the listeners on Facebook, Rumble, YouTube, Get Unleashed Media on Facebook, Daryl Arnold MS on Facebook. And that's before we even start sharing here. But again, I hope all of your weekend was great. Hope all your weekend was great. 6:39 a.m. again on Monday, April 6th. And the year is, of course, 2026, my friends. Okay, let's start out by this. People are saying Donald Trump is losing his mind and whatever. This is all propaganda. These fools even tried to say over the weekend that he was in the hospital. False stories. Propaganda. He's losing his mind. He's doing drugs. He's this. He's that. Listen, if y'all haven't caught up to reality yet, they're always on Donald Trump. And it wouldn't matter what he does. Now, half of the MAGA quote party that began, now I wouldn't say half, actually, it's just a small percentage of the so called podcasters, the so called quote MAGA people, are so against war, which I am too, they can't see the fact that we don't know what the hell's going on as far as the planning goes. They keep saying he doesn't have a plan. We don't know that. You don't know that. You're starting propaganda. You're getting paid for the clicks, of course. I mean, really, because there's so many people against Israel is crazy. Do I think that Israel is right? Do I think that Benjamin Netanyahu is involved with being a bad person? I do, actually. I do. But I also understand that Donald Trump didn't fall for a ruse and do all of this because of Benjamin Netanyahu. Because every president before Donald Trump and Trump's first term and blah, 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 Benjamin Netanyahu has come over to the United States and almost begged to go against Iran. Either way. Iran so far away. Either way, though. So, no, Donald Trump didn't just jump up and down and do magic backflips and do exactly what Trump asked him to do. What Netanyahu asked him to do. Of course he didn't. If you believe that, you haven't been following this man. You just haven't. Because it's not true. It's 100% not true. Sorry, you don't have to agree with me again. Every single thing in life does not have to be a conspiracy, which a lot of it is and a lot of it's true. And we've been lied to. I get it. We've been lied to basically our entire lives. Do I expect that to change under any administration? No. No, negative, Nancy. Not at all. But listen, a United States, no left man behind, military person, ejected, crashed in Iran. Let's go through this real quick. Crashed in Iran. We were all looking for them. The CIA on the ground, of course, with assets in Iran. Found out where the pilot was located and gave Iran instructions how to find him too, through radio frequencies and all that. But they were deceiving Iran. Brilliant operation, by the way. They were deceiving Iran while Iran was looking for this gentleman. Was stuck out there for over 36 hours in that wicked, horrible terrain as the United States pulled a ruse operation, which hasn't done this smoothly ever in history, to save the one American, which that's what we do, no man left behind, and bring him home to safety. He said God is good, absolutely. But not only is God good, but our freaking military is the best. Don't listen to the propaganda. Don't. Why do you think everybody wants to move here? Because they know their asses are protected. So don't listen to the propaganda about Iran's going to win. Come on, y'all. Come on. There's even so-called professors, which has later been found out this guy is not a professor. He works at a high school. So watch what you're listening to. Do a little research before you follow the mainstream media, because we all know that their agenda is different. They're not looking for the truth. They're looking for clicks. They're looking for advertisers. They're looking for people to tune in to their keyword, their interests. And the Democrat Party has owned the mainstream media for decades, going all the way back, ladies and gentlemen. Just research it. You don't have to believe Daryl. You don't have to believe Daryl. You can look it up yourself anytime. Go back as far as you want. You'll see. Even some of our, quote, heroes in the news media world when we were kids, they were still pushing the agenda that was given to them because news organizations get their information from sources, and the sources are pushing anti-Trump and the Democrat Party. That's what they're doing. That's what they've always done. It's just hasn't changed, y'all. But the good news is we haven't rescued a pilot in I don't know when. I don't think ever in the way we did it, okay? Ever in the way we did that. It's unreal. Unbelievable. But like I said, we're going to say this again. For 11 years, President Trump has been front and center on the world stage. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I know I'm not. And the legacy media and the insane Democrats and even some Republicans do not and did not and still don't understand him. I, for one, enjoy the predictable meltdown. That's what it is, y'all. It's all about peace, not war. And it's all about chess, not freaking checkers. So until you actually accept the fact or go learn how checkers works, you will keep melting down. And the problem is they are addicted to the meltdowns. They are 100% addicted to the meltdowns. The left has never understood Trump. They can't handle him, nor can they control him. That's why they hate him. But somebody responded on one of my posts out there. Explain why so many American first patriots left MAGA and then the neocons have become his best friend. It's clear that he turned on his base. That's not true. He didn't tell any of those so-called podcasters to take another route and to use propaganda against whatever country it is and take all that money. He didn't do that. Okay. They chose to do that. As far as the neocons go, they've always been warmongers, leeches, hanger-ons, Lindsey Graham over years. But what we're witnessing, y'all, is let's see how to put it. What we're witnessing is the exorcism, basically, of evil socialist demons across the globe. Okay? Getting some text messages now. The text line is 601-918, and it's 8409. And we're hearing from David Hall this morning. One of the main propaganda pushes, according to David Hall, is the AP, the Associated Press. Pretty much anything coming out of there can determine either false or half-truth. That's right. And that's been going on since the beginning of time, the AP, which is where all news basically is started. You know, it's kind of like the Roadrunner and the Coyote cartoon. Every time they think they got them, and they all got it, It's almost sad. Then again, it's glorious to watch when they completely come unglued, and yet he wins again and again on the issues. So true. Thanks for the text, David Hall, this morning on a Monday morning at 6:51 a.m. in the morning. But every time he's right. Every time, y'all. "5D chess." 3 words, 5D chess. Look it up. Examine it. And again, I don't like exactly what he said on Easter, but that's okay, y'all. Part of it was sarcasm. Look that up. The definition of sarcasm. Look it up. Lord, please. Please. I was listening to Clay from Outkick. It's a show on Outkick. Let me explain to you guys. And he's talking about the war, etc., so on and so on. See if I can pull that clip number 12 up here for you and see what he says from Outkick discussing the sponsor of terrorism in the Middle East. I think people have forgotten, especially the Trump haters and the propaganda. Everything's got to be a conspiracy, people.
Reports that Saudi Arabia was lined up alongside of Israel, arguing that President Trump needed to take out the Iranian leadership to have stability for both Jews and Muslims and Christians, for that matter, in the Middle East, that we can't have a perpetual sponsor of terrorism in the Middle East if we're ever going to have freedom. And all of this is connected, I think, in a very significant way to what happened on October 7, 2023. On October 7, 2023, Hamas attacked Israel and took 1,200 innocent Israeli lives and over 200 hostages. Why did they do it? I've been to Israel. I have walked the ground of the Nova Music Festival, where many hundreds of people were murdered in cold blood. I have walked around all of the areas just off the border in Gaza. I have seen the border with Lebanon in the north of Israel. I have seen the borders all along the Gaza Strip. I have seen all of the ground that's bloodstained. There are reports that Saudi Arabia was lined up alongside of Israel, arguing that President Trump needed to take out the Iranian leadership to have stability for both Jews and Muslims and Christians, for that matter, in the Middle East.
Yeah. Okay. Now, there's a lot of truth to that, because they all came, ladies and gentlemen, after the October 7th sad event in Israel. You can believe it or not, but the proof is there. And the hostages and the deaths are there. But just try to imagine a totally free and peaceful Middle East. It's hard to do. We've never known it in our lifetimes. Really, we wouldn't. Eventually, people, this is a quote that somebody texted me. Thank you for that. I'm not sure who did the quote, but thanks for the text. Eventually, people will realize the entire Gulf, with the exception of Qatar, has been strategic allies for 30 years prior to the Shah of Iran with Israel and us and so on. Iran was a supporter of Israel after this war. That was 2,500 year relationship will resume. The rest is marketing to the ignorant. Now, look, I don't know if I agree with all of that. But yeah, a lot of these relationships are for thousands of years before we were around, for sure. Okay. And again, a lot of it goes back to religion. A lot of it goes back to good versus evil. A lot of it goes back to simply uneducated war, or rather, let me just repeat that, uneducated terrorists that only believe in one thing only. They don't have an open mind. They just want to kill you and me. And it's because they were raised that way since babies. Crazy, isn't it? This show is brought to you by Cypress Point, 874 Holly Bush Road. What an incredible weekend in Brandon, Mississippi. Cypress Point Resort, Cameron's Garage, the tavern, the safari, the lodging, everything that goes along with the Easter buffet was just freaking incredible. I got photos out there online you can check out. What a good time with good folks at a good place. Rankin County. You're very lucky to have that. We're going for commercial. My name is Daryl, unleashed, uninhibited, unapologetic. Hey folks, Daryl Arnold here with 104.3 FM and Unleashed Media. If you're looking for a fresh start in 2026, listen up. Mississippi Coding Academies and the Next program are launching brand new classes in January of 2026. No cost to you. You can learn coding, AI, cybersecurity, drones, robotics, digital operations. These are real in-demand skills that lead to real Mississippi jobs. No degree needed, no experience needed, just the drive to build a better future. Classes begin January 2026 with locations across the state and online. Visit mscoding.org. That's mscoding.org and discover what's next for you.
The City of Pearl invites you to the free Pearl Day concert featuring Dog Train. Saturday, April 25th, Trustmark Park in the northern parking lot with special guest Hinder. Gates open at 5:30. For details, visit cityofpearl.com. Bring your lawn chairs and enjoy a great night of live music under the stars. No on-site food or beverages allowed.
Don't forget to check out Cypress Point Resort. Memories are made at Cypress Point. Close to home, yet it feels miles away. At Cypress Point, you can truly get away from it all. You can step back to a simpler time, yet enjoy all the amenities of today. Cameron's Garage is a sports bar and music venue. There's a lunch buffet every day inside Cypress Point. They also have a steakhouse and the tavern. The tavern is a quaint little place with live music Wednesday through Saturday. And of course, you've got the safari park and petting zoo. Don't forget about all the event halls, including the wedding chapel and so much more. That's Cypress Point Resort, located at 874 Holly Bush Road, Brandon, Mississippi. Contact them at 601-829-1101 or at cypresspointms.com.
Wake up in the morning. Welcome back to the Unleashed Media Radio Show and live stream with your host, Daryl Arnold.
We on fire!
We on fire on a Monday morning, y'all. April 6th, that is 2026. The station is 104.3 FM. Also, the live stream is Unleashed at Unleashed Media. Get Unleashed Media, Unleashed Media, and Unleashed Talk, YouTube, Rumble, all kind of Facebook pages, etc. Listen in, tune in, push the word, follow the page, share the feed, and continue to listen, as we love each and every one of you that do all of that, and including the radio station that allows us to host our show every week. Okay. So we were talking about the insanity, which a lot of that is going on. Today's a big day, though. I mean, I keep saying it because it is. I know a lot of you were busy with the family over the weekend. A lot of crazy stuff happened this weekend, as it always gets slipped in over the weekend. It just does. And the leftists over the weekend were throwing total meltdown over Trump's harsh ultimatum on Iran. Tommy Lauren called out the insane hypocrisy yesterday. I was like, yeah, I'm going to probably play that clip because she's feeling the way a lot of us are. She's feeling the way a lot of us are. Because these people are going berserk over what Trump said, and think about what they say every day. I mean, every day, even threatening people's lives, including his, every day. Every day.
I don't know if he takes the step. I don't know if he has to. I don't think this is going to be a situation of you break it, you buy it, which we've done in the past. You mentioned mission creep earlier. I don't think this is a president that's going to do much of that. No building soccer fields, right? I think we're past that. And this president and this Secretary of War, I don't think that that's going to be their mission or their game plan or their desire. But I will say this, to the colorful language that he used in the Truth Social post, watching all these libs freak out over it, to me, is really something. These are the same people that defend globalize the Antifa. These are the same people who call our ICE agents the Gestapo, that call us fascists, Nazis, Hitler, who throw rocks at our ICE agents and bottles at police horses, okay? So he used a word that you don't like, which, by the way, a number of Democrat political candidates have put out official campaign videos saying F Trump. So please, with your clutching of your pearls about, oh, we don't like this Truth Social by President Trump, I'm really not too concerned if it insults those folks or not.
Yep. She pretty much nailed it. She pretty much nailed it. That's just all there is to it. This is how you deal with people who have been terrorizing the world and killing Americans for over 47 years. But, you know, the Democrats and the progressives have never had bad words to say for their fanatic extremist regime who oppresses their own actual people, ignores women and human rights, and threatens the West with ballistic missiles and soon nukes. That's what these other terrorist countries do. And the first part of that is what the actual unfortunate United States of America progressive Democrat leftist party does. Okay. The bottom line is Iran works on nukes when they can and if they can. Of course they do. And it is their religion to hate us. That's also true. Everything else is BS. Trump saved us for a while, at least. But the left wants Trump to fail so bad that they are willing to turn their back on their own country, which is us, and its military, which is us, and your children out there, that they actually don't care about you or me. All right? Let that sink in while they're pushing the propaganda. Let that sink in. These are all facts because they say it every day. It's not like they hide it. They say it smiling at the camera every single freaking day. Libtards, rhinos, and fake MAGA grifters. Still too stupid to grasp what Trump is actually saying. And that's exactly why he keeps winning. That was the text. That one's pretty much right on there, Joe. Good morning, Joe. Now, we're going to get into some more sensitive subjects, such as President Trump is sounding the alarm, of course. America cannot withstand, this was this morning actually, more horrible decisions from the Supreme Court. We can't withstand it, you guys. The Democrat Party and progressives and maybe people that don't vote and don't keep up, they just don't understand that the Supreme Court needs to strike down the birthright citizenship for illegals. They should use their powers of common sense for the good of the country. The Supreme Court, in Donald Trump's opinion this morning, quote, they fell miserably on the tariffs, needlessly costing the United States hundreds of billions of dollars in potential rebates for the benefit of what? Haters and scammers? Yeah. And then he said, don't do it again. The country can only withstand so many bad decisions from a court that's not seeming to care about its own people, because a lot of them are compromised. One or so is an idiot, but yeah. I mean, it's true. We live in times that we didn't know we would see. We just do. Well, one thing about human beings and one thing about Americans. So it's two things. One thing about human beings, one thing being about Americans. We adapt and we move forward through peace, through strength. That's what we do as American people and as human beings. And the Christians lay their faith in the power of prayer, Jesus Christ, and our Almighty God, which is the way I believe. I can't speak for everybody on religion because we have a free country. But the evil communist dictatorship infiltrated now into the Supreme Court, in my opinion. Every layer of government has allowed somehow somebody to sneak in that does not have our best interest, that's getting paid from other organizations and countries. The court, this is a text message from James. Thanks for the text message. Good morning. The court has gone far towards accepting the doctrine that civil liberty means that all local attempts to maintain order are impairments of the liberty of the citizen. The choice is not between order and liberty. It is between liberty with order. So there's a danger that if the court does not temper its doctrine logic with a little practical wisdom, it will convert the Constitution Bill of Rights into a suicide pact. Now, this is what Robert Jackson said, which is a justice. I don't know. I do not know. I don't. You know, SCOTUS at this point is, I just don't agree with it on a lot of their stuff. I mean, look, they've done some great decisions that helped us, dramatically. I'm not sure if they want to, if they're scared. I'm not sure what it is. But it's not good, whatever it is. Okay, it's just not. Israel eliminated the IRGC intelligence chief overnight. He was effectively the number 2 in command, survived multiple prior Israeli and U.S. targeting attempts until now. So another huge blow to Iran's regime. Iran's regime. So coming up on the quarter after the hour, we're at 7:12 a.m. right now, and we're in the Central Daylight Time Zone. Today being April 6th, and the year being 2026. Crazy, isn't it? Yes, it is. Crazy, isn't it? D&K Podcast, which is a show I do with Kim Steinbrink. We got our freaking page hacked on Facebook over the weekend. They changed the damn name of the page to update users. Man, we've tried everything to get that damn name changed back. And of course, nobody can get in touch with Facebook. They're like the freaking Wizard of Oz. They're like the Wizard of Oz. They're all about you promoting until something happens to your page, and then you don't hear from them. But they'll take your money for an ad, though. Of course they will. Oh my God, it's insane. The huge Conway Twitty tribute band Slow Hand will be this coming Saturday night over at Cameron's Garage, located at Cypress Point. This is huge, y'all. I mean, close your eyes, look away. You got Conway Twitty. Actually, scary good. Anyway, big show. Also, Lauren Lindsay on the inside at the tavern that night. Big show. Do not miss this one. We'll be discussing all the shows and all the upcoming events this week. Keep it locked and tuned in for all of that. We were talking about music over the weekend. Different things about the music business and how things actually work, so on. And I was guilty as being a person who thought maybe, like Nirvana killed the music business for 80s music and so on and so on. Of course, I was bitter at first. But really, Mark Slaughter, who's in the band Slaughter, who was obviously one of the big bands in that early 91, 92, whatever era, it was not necessarily just the bands. Nobody has that much power from a talent point. It was the industry. It was the business. It was MTV programming. It was radio programming. K-Rock, still around today, still playing what they need to play, what the industry has them play. Okay, it hasn't changed much. Okay, it really hasn't. But Mark Slaughter, recently heard him talking about where it really wasn't the grunge bands, it was the actual music business end of it. Now, good for them for still getting out there and playing, but really that's what ruined the quote 80s band movement there, honestly.
They say that grunge killed our style of music. No, it was people in the business that killed this music. What happened is the largest radio station in the world, MTV, had a new programmer or new president who was the programmer of K-Rock in California. And he said in Billboard magazine, I will never play Motley Crue, Slaughter, Poison, named all the bands that were like right on top at the time. And the next week, we were off all the playlists.
Funny how that works, isn't it? A lot like politics. Yes, it is politics. It's politics in the music industry. That's what it is. You know, I mean, but look, things are going to change. They just are. Things are going to change. There was too many bands coming out, including mine, a little bit late to the party. And that's what happens. So regardless of whose fault it was going to happen anyway. But radio program directors, especially then and still now, and MTV program directors, definitely back then, made you or broke you quick, very fast. Just the truth. Just the absolute truth. You may not know it. You may have never paid any attention to it. You may not even believe it. But don't think there's not payola and always was payola. It may not be cash, but it's a PlayStation for the children. It's this, it's that, it's blah, blah, blah. Play my band, play my band, play my band. Come on, y'all. Of course. Of course. I don't know how many people listen to this show, but you should know. Eric Swalwell, the biggest loser ever, in my opinion, one of them. Definitely top 5. Of course, Democrat, far left, progressive wingnut. Running again. You know, he's going to be running for California governor, or at least he thinks he is. Anyway, we're gonna talk about Mr. Swalwell, and if you know, then you absolutely know. Okay, you know about Fang Fang Bang Fang, the Chinese spy that he was in bed with, and I do mean physically and mentally in bed with.
Don't forget to check out Cypress Point Resort. Memories are made at Cypress Point. Close to home, yet it feels miles away. At Cypress Point, you can truly get away from it all. You can step back to a simpler time, yet enjoy all the amenities of today. Cameron's Garage is a sports bar and music venue. There's a lunch buffet every day inside Cypress Point. They also have a steakhouse and the Tavern. The Tavern is a quaint little place with live music Wednesday through Saturday. And of course, you've got the Safari Park and Petting Zoo. Don't forget about all the event halls, including the Wedding Chapel and so much more. That's Cypress Point Resort, located at 874 Hollybush Road, Brandon, Mississippi. Contact them at 601-829-1101 or at cypresspointms.com.
Wait a minute. You ain't heard nothing yet.
Power 104.3, The Pirate. The Pirate is the heartbeat of Pearl. The Pirate.
If you or a loved one need reliable medical equipment, trust a name Mississippi has depended on for over 20 years. Mobility Medical, located right in Flowood, is your local family-owned source for mobility and home healthcare solutions. From power wheelchairs and scooters to lift chairs that help you relax in comfort, they've got everything you need to stay independent and live better every day. Need help at home? Mobility Medical offers hospital beds, tables, and essential supplies, and more. What sets them apart? It's their personalized service. Their experienced team works one-on-one with you to find the right equipment. Serving all of Mississippi and beyond with in-store support and delivery options available. Mobility Medical, helping you move better, live better, and stay independent. Visit them today in Flowood or call to learn more.
The City of Pearl invites you to the free Pearl Day concert featuring Dog Train. Saturday, April 25th, Trustmark Park in the northern parking lot with special guest Hinder. Gates open at 5:30. For details, visit cityofpearl.com. Bring your lawn chairs and enjoy a great night of live music under the stars. No outside food or beverages allowed.
Wake up in the morning. Welcome back to the Unleashed Media Radio Show and live stream with your host, Daryl Arnold.
We on fire!
We on fire on a Monday, April 6th, y'all. It's early in the morning. I've had coffee. Man, a lot of stuff is going on over this Easter weekend. A lot of it bad, unfortunately. Sad, unfortunately. But it is what it is. Okay? It just is what it is. That's what it is. That's what it is, and it is what it is. But we're talking about Fang Fang and Eric Butthole Swalwell. One of the worst, just worst people ever. Just liar, big pants on fire. Wish that could come true. Liar, big pants on fire. Man, we've had so many people on these live streams this morning. Man, thank y'all so much. I'm going to try to get back to some of this coming up here shortly before we get out of here. Some of these check-ins. But don't bang, fang, fang. If you know, you know. Well, ladies and gentlemen, in honor of Representative Eric Swalwell, Glenn Beck posted this a few days ago, and I'm going to tell you, it's the ultimate move against Eric Swalwell because he is such an ass. Such a conceited narcissist. You know what? So check this out for all you folks that want to get a good lap this morning. And if you don't know who Eric Swalwell is, please look him up. Loser with a capital L.
Ladies and gentlemen, in honor of Eric Swalwell, the world premiere of a super, super important and soon-to-be classic, Don't Bang Bang, Fang Fang.
Don't bang, bang. Don't bang, bang. Swalwell don't want the files to drop, cause he went bang, bang with bang, bang. Hey, don't bang, bang. Bang, bang. Hey, don't bang, bang. Bang, bang. he screams and shouts, but we all know he went bang, bang with bang, bang. He chased Russia ghosts from dawn until dusk, screaming collusion louder than anyone else, while Fang Fang bundled checks with that sweet CCCP smile, placed an intern close, stayed for a while on the Intel committee, guarding secrets so tight, but his own honey trap was working overtime at night. Now Cash wants the receipts, the text, and the pics. Eric's yelling nonsense while sweating like bricks. So bang, 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 bang.
Don't bang, bang. Fang, fang. This guy is crazy. Eric Swalwell. He says, actually, Eric Swalwell himself posted this 49 minutes ago. You're an idiot. No, he didn't post that. I'm calling him that before I read it, though. He said Democrats should no longer vote for a, quote, single nominee. And make it clear that leading the Senate will mean no Supreme Court justices, no cabinet members, and no tyranny. Bruh. How big of a fool would you have to be to vote for this guy? How big of an idiot would you have to be? It's just, I don't get it. Anyone that would follow this guy or vote for this guy is a foolish idiot.
He smiled, placed an intern close, stayed for a while on the Intel committee, guarding secrets so tight, but his own honey trap was working overtime at night.
Yeah, his own honey trap working overtime at night. This guy was on the Intel committee. Please, ladies and gentlemen, please get it together before it's too late. I mean, stop voting fools in. Stop. Completely doing a 180 right now. Our food system here in the United States of America is broken. RFK Jr. is changing a lot of things for the better. He is absolutely doing that. Joel Salatin has an idea for how President Trump can fix this. We need food emancipation we need to proclaim food emancipation. We need to take the shackles off of farmers so they can do what we used to do, sell it to their freaking neighbors and town people. Now, I'm not going to play this whole clip, but this guy makes a lot of freaking common sense, ladies and gentlemen, a lot of common sense.
Instead of a bailout, instead of Federal Trade Commission, instead of Smoot-Hartley, I mean, whatever, okay?
Yeah.
Instead of any of that, let's try freedom. Let's try liberty. We need a...
You are a lunatic.
Yeah, we need a food emancipation proclamation.
Yeah.
And I am not abashed to say I am using every bit of whatever political equity I have to get a 30-minute audience with Trump to pitch him a food emancipation proclamation. We need to take the shackles off of a farmer so that the farmer can sell to his neighbor. Right now, if you came to my farm and said, man, you make a great chicken pot pie. I've got guests coming next week. Could you make me 5? I'll buy them so I can sit my guests.
Can't do it.
I'm busy. Illegal. You got 2 Guernsey cows. Oh man, I'd love some raw milk. Could you sell? Nope, can't sell it to you. What's happened since 1906 is convenience food. Back then, people cooked in their kitchens. You didn't have TV dinners. You didn't have squeezable cheese. And you certainly didn't have Lunchables and Hot Pockets, okay? So today, 75%, and this is again uncovered by RFK Jr., 75% of America's food is convenience food.
That's a problem. And that guy has a great idea. He has a great idea. Duh. The parasites that want to control every aspect of our life, though, that's where they step in on that kind of stuff. Text message from Lucy. Good morning. Correct. You are right. Say it louder for the American people to hear. 30 years ago, my country once grew pumpkins, watermelons, wheat, strawberries, and sweet corn. We are now forced into a fixed two-crop biofuel rotation that is killing the soil and farmers. Ethanol was the brainchild of ADM to hedge their high fructose corn syrup lawsuits. Crazy, isn't it? Crazy, crazy, crazy. But you know what? Hey, Donald Trump, if he hears this, he's the type of person that might give this guy 30 minutes to talk to him. He's always been that way. You know, one thing about Trump, he will listen. He will take in consideration anybody, all walks of life, no matter what the propaganda tries to tell you. He just freaking will. He always has, even before he was president. Look it up. Look it up. Please look it up. George H.W. Bush's nephew, Bill Bush, you know, he was on Entertainment Tonight, a few other things on ABC and etc. on the E! channel at one time. You know, since he was in the mainstream media and the, quote, Hollywood media, he said that ABC coordinated determination to destroy Trump at all costs, and says that the same pattern was echoed and amplified across all media outlets. It's so crazy that they did that. They specifically dedicated division with 75 people whose sole mission in life was to get Trump. Imagine that. Through all of that, he still won twice. Well, really, he won 3 times, but twice. Driven by pure evil, y'all. Here he is with Miss Steele, who was also on ESPN, caught up in the same woke ideology, and them on her ass every day, too, about what she could and couldn't say. It's so crazy to me.
Determination to find something.
Yeah.
Imagine going around asking that question: who has something? Who has, like, there's evil in that.
ABC
even
News
if
had
it's
a
somebody that we
division.
don't like.
They had a division dedicated with 75 people in it, because I know the guy who ran the division, which was dedicated to basically getting him.
Wow.
And all the big network news that I understand all of that, like what you can do with it, they have a voice and different networks have different voices.
So happy birthday. They're determined.
Yeah, but he said he understands all that and they have different voices, but if you go on to listen, there's a difference between having different voices and just making up a quote entire hoax right off the bat. Right off the bat. Just insane. The elitist war versus Trump is really a war versus the average common Americans. Has been. A propaganda army. That's what they do. They build a propaganda army, just like a launch attack after Trump yet again prevails this past time. You can't destroy the will of people and the will of God, though. Sorry, Charlie. Do I think Trump has been compromised on some of the decisions? No. Do I think he's been maybe lied to on some of the information he's gotten? Probably, because everybody in America has. It's just one of those things that happen. You know, you think you can trust people, but sometimes you can't trust anyone, period, end of discussion. But I don't think he's compromised like certain people do. I just think that he might have maybe believed some of the narcissist lies from neocons and rhinos and Israel, not Israel the country, but Netanyahu. I mean, seriously. So the feared Iranian trap, but the CIA used advanced capabilities that can confirm that our downed hero, or boom, taken care of. I like it. No man left. Trey Yinks, this dude lives over there. Nonstop Trey Yinks. Does a great job of actually telling you what's really going on the ground. So it disgusts me when people say that Trey Yinks is in on what? Ducking for cover? Living through war after war, bomb after bomb? No, he's really not. He is simply reporting what's actually happening with no agenda, just what's happening.
That on Saturday morning, the CIA was able to locate and confirm this U.S. service member in a mountain ridge south of the city of Isfahan. And that is when the appropriate calls were made to relevant parties, including the Secretary of War, the Joint Chiefs Chairman, and the president himself, who ultimately ordered this operation. And within 12 hours, we can report there were U.S. Special Forces on the ground inside of Iran rescuing this U.S. service member.
Yes. Behind enemy lines. Incredible reporting. Yeah. Trey Yinks, live for us in Tel Aviv. Trey, thank you.
Crazy. What we can do, what our military can do, if we put our minds to it, flawless missions. Rescued by a specialized high-speed mission. The pilot's return highlights the no man left behind dedication of the United States military, and no one can take that away from them, whether you agree with war or not. No one can take that away from them, period. And no one should try to take that away from them. I'm still laughing about don't bang, bang, fang, fang. I don't know who put that song together, but you deserve a big, 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 big.
feeling we're not in Kansas anymore.
You're not. You're in Pearl, Mississippi. Listening to Power 104.3, The Pirate, where we play almost everything.
Every program in the Next ecosystem is designed to meet people where they are and take them where they want to go, in technology and in life. Mississippi Coding Academies is a nonprofit that bridges the digital divide, delivering accessible, affordable, and life-changing technology education across the globe. Funded by grants and donations that are truly making an impact at home and abroad. Learn coding, cybersecurity, and so much more with locations around the state of Mississippi. Go to mscoding.org today and go to your next level.
You wanted to see me?
Yes, please, have a seat. So here's the thing. When this company brought you on, we took a chance on you. You didn't have that 4-year college degree we typically look for.
Right.
But we gave you a shot anyway. And since then, you've worked incredibly hard and given it your all.
Thanks.
You've been an important asset to the team, but I don't think you can be an intern here anymore. We want to hire you.
You're serious?
Absolutely.
Find your next great employee. Introduce yourself to the Grads of Life. Who are they? Talent worth knowing about. Young adults of unique determination and experience. An ideal fit for your company in an entry-level position, internship, or even mentorship. They might not have every qualification you typically look for, but they're exactly who your company needs.
I won't let you down.
I know.
Don't miss out on a resource many innovative companies have already discovered. Go to gradsoflife.org to learn how to find, cultivate, and train this great pool of untapped talent. Brought to you by the Ad Council and gradsoflife.org.
Wake up in the morning. Welcome back to the Unleashed Media Radio Show and live stream with your host, Daryl Arnold.
Be on fire!
Welcome back on a Monday morning, April 6, 2026. My name is Daryl Arnold. You've tuned into the Unleashed, Uninhibited, Unapologetic radio and live stream show in the mornings, 104.3 FM as well. Thanks for joining us. We heard from the next program with mscoding.org. Please check that out, ladies and gentlemen. No matter what your age is, seriously, they have programs for 3-year-olds to whatever, 70, 60, 80. Get involved. You might want to learn IT. You might want to learn cyber skills. It's a big necessity. But AI, you got to know about it. You got to know a little bit about it to basically get through life at this point, because it is taking over, whether you like it or not like it. It's happening. The good folks at MS Coding, which is grant program based, donation based, locations all over the state, also one locally, mscoding.org. The Russ Band from Hurricane. You got Angie Dennison Jones, Sabrina. Good Morning Cindy. And I got about 47 people that I can't hardly read on YouTube. Thank you. Or Rumble. Anyway, I know that the big Grab You One Outfitters benefit that happened at Cypress Point at the lodge over the weekend, just amazing. Jimmy Nichols, the entire organization that was involved in that. Of course, Cypress Point Resort staff, the venue, Allie Nichols, Reagan Chapel, Grab You One Outfitters, Inc. Everything that they did to see this through, Salem, Bennett, and Madison Deloche will be top priority until June 6th. And then they move into year 18 after that. So incredible things happen with great folks. Okay. Just great people. Everybody involved in the Grab You One Outfitters and the Grab You One event over the weekend. And the events coming up, of course, such as the annual Snake Rodeo up near Roy's Stores, where that's hosted. Check it out. Always a blast. So it's your massive Monday morning with a lot of stuff going on. I mean, a lot of stuff. But we won't know the answers to some of the stuff until later on today. I believe Trump is speaking at 1 p.m. Eastern, noon time Central. And I'm sure it's going to be very, very interesting. But again, he's not going to let the press take over the conversation. That is for wimps. That's the way they start all the BS. It's also official that President Trump endorsed Steve Hilton for governor of California. Good. He said Hilton is running on destroying Gavin Newsom's fraud and undoing the failures. Great. Fantastic.
All right, VMT. Do you know what that is? You need to know. VMT. It stands for Vehicle Miles Traveled, and it's yet another sneaky, stealthy way that the Democrats in charge of California want to gouge you for the crime of driving your car. So this latest version, I mean, this comes on top, by the way, of the highest gas taxes in the country, highest vehicle registration, everything they can do to punish people who drive. This thing we've dug into was actually started in something that Newsom touted as the solution to the housing crisis, to bring down housing costs. It's a bill last year called AB 130, and hidden away in it is this thing called the VMT Mitigation Bank, a new tool for housing and infrastructure. What it actually does, according to some estimates, is to charge you for every new single family home. Remember, they don't want single family homes. They're trying to punish single family homes. They want to stop single family homes from being built. And so they're going to put this charge on it, VMT, because if you build a new home, people are going to drive to their new home. That's vehicle miles traveled. So to try and stop all that, because they want to shove apartment buildings into existing neighborhoods instead of building new single family homes, they are trying to sneak in a charge, wait for it, of $1,350 per month for 20 years on every new single family home. And this is in the bill.
Good Lord. This is what you get when you get Democrat leadership. Sorry. These are the type foolish ideology and plans, per se, legislative actions that they push. I mean, they don't win all of them, but they win a lot of them, y'all. Because the general public's not paying attention. The general public is not paying attention. Governor Tate Reeves has faced a constant barrage of pressure both under the Capitol dome and externally 2 years ago. He deserves credit for putting his foot down on a firm policy ground, though. Certain organizations in Mississippi have suggested that Medicaid overages this year resulted from President Trump's signature One Big Beautiful Bill. Well, those people don't have a clue what they're talking about. They're only saying that because they hate Trump. It's the only way they're saying that. Or excuse me, only reason they're saying that. They don't have anything else to do except do that. COVID money masked the true cost of Mississippi's Medicaid program. Now reserves are depleted and the budget is exploding. Mississippi dodged a bullet when Medicaid expansion efforts failed. That's why we're dodging a bullet. That's why we're better off than some other states. The Division of Medicaid sought $390 million more from the state to cover existing population of recipients. But when the dust settled, appropriators gave more than $200 million bump to the program that pushed the state funded portion of the program to well over $1 billion. And the total cost of the program to over $8.5 billion when accounting for huge federal contribution and separately collected provider taxes. Governor Tate Reeves, like I said, he faced constant barrage of pressure. And this was back a few years ago, whatever. The Capitol Dome and externally, all of that stuff that we just went over. In 2024, both chambers of the legislature proposed and passed Medicaid expansion packages. They faltered on details and differences and all that kind of stuff. We remember that, of course. But the COVID illusion, and this is true pretty much in any state, their illusion is that certain organizations suggested that Medicaid overages resulted from, quote, the one big beautiful bill. These people don't understand what in the hell they're talking about. They don't understand. During the pandemic, Congress passed the Families First Coronavirus Response Act, which offered states a 6.2 percentage point increase in the federal match rate. Today, Mississippi enrollment numbers are right back at near where they were pre-pandemic levels. What the expansion would have added, though, based on prior estimates, would have added 200 or 300,000 Mississippians to the program, pushing the total enrollment to near 100 beneficiaries. It's important to recognize that the initial estimates for both in every state that has expanded Medicaid have been wildly insane. Wildly. Well, whether you agree with it or not, everybody has an opinion. And that's okay. That's healthy. Everybody needs an opinion. Everybody needs an opinion. Got a text message already on that. Warmed up and ready this morning, I see. I'm glad he did not. I guess that means Tate Reeves. I'm glad he had the facts straight and didn't take the carrot, the stick that would hurt later. He didn't. So much fraud from C19 and since. Happy not to participate in the grift. Good. That's a good way of looking at it. Thanks for that, Richard. I appreciate it. That's the truth, though. Whether you, agree or not you're right. But never in the history of the planet that we've been alive has a bigger debacle happened than COVID-19. We all know it. We all freaking know it. And we're not talking about the vaccines. We're talking about the money that was stolen, the grift on the vaccines by Dr. Fauci, the rest of the crew. But the grift on the American people of the scamming of the money is unfreaking believable. Every day, people still getting busted. Unreal. You know, if Europe won't allow us to use their bases and fund their defense, then we ought to just close them down and remove our troops from from Europe. Mark Rubio was talking about on one of the morning shows yesterday, making a great point.
I've been a big supporter of NATO. And one of the reasons why I've been a supporter of NATO is because I believe that these basing rights give us leverage and give us flexibility and operational capability all over the world. But if NATO is just about us defending Europe if they're attacked, but them denying us basing rights when we need them, that's not a very good arrangement. That's a hard one to stay engaged in and say this is good for the United States. So all of that's going to have to be re-examined. All of it's going to have to be re-examined.
You're right, buddy. All right, since we've only got a couple of minutes left, listen, today's going to be a huge day in the way this world moves forward. Trump's got some very tough decisions to make. A lot of prayer is needed. And this is not a fear tactic. I'm telling you the actual truth. He has a speech today at 12 noon Central Time, 1 p.m. Eastern. But he is saying that he is going to rain down hellfire on power plants, things that keep honest people alive. We don't want to go there. Nobody actually does, including him. So today is a big pivot in the way things are going to move forward. I promise you. I don't know what that pivot is yet. Or again, he may back off. I'm not sure. And the people trying to tell you the fear tactics, they simply don't know either. Donald Trump never lets you know. Haven't you noticed that yet? Haven't you noticed that yet? But America is the greatest country ever. We love our flag. We love our people. We love our country. We love our Lord Almighty above. And we love doing the right thing for the right reasons, ladies and gentlemen. That's what we love. That is a true patriot. Of course, we love our military. Absolutely, 100%. All of our law enforcement, of course. And we love common freaking sense. Jesus. My name is Daryl Arnold. You have been listening to Unleash Media, which is the Unleashed show on Monday mornings, April 6th. We are ending the show at 8 a.m., which is coming up in about 20 seconds. Thanks again for listening. And I cannot wait to see you again. Have a great Monday.
Thank you all for tuning in. Hashtag unfiltered, hashtag unapologetic. America First Talk at its best. Where we party the right way. See you next time, or else.